Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy to have you here. I'm recording this video on on Sunday, August 24th, I believe is the date, and this should be posted. I'm planning to I was told by my spirit team, my great grandmother specifically, to post this on the 27th, which is Wednesday. But given the subject matter, which I'll get to in a minute, I'd like to post this a little earlier than that, but we'll see if I do. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of other videos that I need to post. However, if you watch the three last political readings, that I posted, you'll know that my great-great-grandmother gave me an idea for 4 readings that she wanted me to do this weekend. And one of the topics, she gave me these topics on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, and one of the topics, which is what we're reading on right now, is, as she gave it to me, and I wrote it down, I'm reading from my notebook, has Trump suffered a stroke since his trip to Alaska? Now, like I said, she gave me this idea on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, so it had only been a few days. It hadn't even been a whole week since the meeting with Putinska in Alaska and the debacle that apparently was. So when she gave this to me, I'm like, it's like, okay, are you telling me he's had a stroke, or is he going to have a stroke by the time that this gets posted, or what? For entertainment purposes only, like I said, I don't know if this man has had a stroke or not. I know he is very, very sick. He has I would say at least 4 or 5 things wrong with him right now. That's what I'm feeling, is 4 or 5 different illnesses, issues, problems. But a stroke very well could be one of them, like maybe mini strokes, which I'm very familiar with. But, I thought that was interesting. And then, as we got to, when we got to Friday, of course, sorry, let me pause this just for a minute. I don't know why my front door alarm is going off. I'll be back in a second. All right, sorry about that, guys. The sensor on my front door likes to try to fall off the door, and when it does that, it's like the alarm pad that's in my kitchen likes to think that somebody has opened the door. Excuse me, and nobody's opened my front door. It's just me and my cat in the house right now. So there's no way to open the door. However, since I started getting ready to do this reading, there have been some things around here. I think Spirit is very active for this particular reading, or will be very active for this particular reading. Like the candle that I have sitting here was popping a lot, making a lot of popping noises as I was shuffling the deck before I started recording. It's a really high flame. It started flickering and moving and dancing. It's doing that right now quite a bit. So energy is really high right now. But what was I saying? Basically, by the time Friday rolled around, all of the readers that I follow and a lot of my friends follow and a lot of other readers follow on YouTube were all saying the same thing. Even the news outlets were some of the news outlets, the independent ones, were saying the same thing. Is he dying? Is he sick? Notwithstanding the fact that on Wednesday he said that he knows he's at the bottom of the food chain as far as people who are getting into heaven, and he wants to start bartering with God and bribing God to get into heaven. He's really feeling his mortality and is apparently concerned about his immortal soul, which is a little late, but so yeah, so I was like, okay. I was talking to a friend of mine the last couple of days, and I said, all right, I think, with everything that people are talking about right now, maybe there's something to this, what my great grandmother said to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a health reading on Donald Trump. We're going to do a health reading on Trump, and I will ask the specific question later about whether he has suffered a stroke since his trip to Alaska. So, and it's funny, I split the deck, and I have the King of Swords, and notice the heart. The heart is multiple sizes too small. Sorry, I got glare. There you go. The heart is multiple sizes too small. It's like it's shrunk, it's shriveled. Physically, it doesn't work. It's not working. For entertainment purposes only. All right. Let's come on down. What is going on? Okay, sorry. I thought that was something else having to do with my my alarm, the alarm on my house. It's kind of finicky. All right. How is Donald Trump's health right now? I'm going to say as of as of August 27th, since this video will be posted on August 27th. How is Donald Trump's health as of August 27th, 2025? He likes to think it's really good. With the Star card, I'm feeling like he's on a lot of pills. But he has this idea, this grandiose idea. It's a delusion of grandeur is really what I'm trying to say. Delusion of grandeur, that he's this big, strong, tough man, and he's really this very small, very puny, average man who has no real power at all. The only power that he does have are from the pills that he's been eating. But pills that he's been eating. I don't know why I said it that way. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stars on the Star card. There are quite a few pills a day that he has to take. I'm feeling, I don't know if it's actually 8, but I feel like it's like there's the one big important one that he has to take, like a larger dose, high blood pressure, maybe medication, or I would say something that has to do with either the circulation, or I'm feeling the kidneys. I don't know what medication you would take for kidneys. I do know about, heart and high blood pressure, but I'm not sure about the kidneys. But he has this idea that he's super strong. And there are people who play into this, his sycophants with the Star card, who view him as the Star. They play into this. They, it's kind of keep him in his delusion, because it's easier, quite frankly, to deal with him that way than to say, no, sir, Mr. President, you're really sick. This is what you have wrong with you, blah, 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 blah. It's just easier not to deal with it and to just, just agree with him. All right. All right. As of August 27th, 2025, how is Donald Trump's health? The High Priestess. There are secrets about his health that are being kept from us, the citizens, for sure, but also from him himself. I don't know that he really knows or comprehends. I'm going to say I don't think he comprehends how sick he is. Notice that all 3 cards here that we have are majors. They're all majors. So this is big. There is something, I would, since they're all majors, this is a huge deal. This is something that is seriously wrong. There are things that are seriously wrong with him. He's a very ill man. And my eyes are being drawn to this crystal. This is bloodstone. which can be used and can be carried if you have issues with your blood. I believe impurities with your blood, anemia. So there could be something with his blood pressure, blood, something in his blood, diabetes, even though I'm not feeling that very strongly. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did have diabetes, cholesterol, fatty liver. I just heard fatty liver. So he could have fatty liver disease. That could be one of the issues. All right, as of August 27th, how is Donald Trump's health? What do we need to know? Ace of Swords in reverse. His mental acuity is very low. His mental agility, I should say, is very low with the Ace of Swords in the reverse. He has a very difficult time thinking, and he has a very difficult time thinking without help, like without somebody. It is, I think somebody, like he has dementia. He could very well have dementia, or something leading up to dementia. If nothing else, it's, senility and old age, brain fogginess, that he's dealing with. It was funny, even though I can't stand watching him and I can't stand listening to him because it grates on my ear. I'd rather hear nails down a chalkboard than listen to him speak. But I did watch the interview, press conference, whatever you want to call it, in the Oval Office Friday afternoon, or at noon, and he was very cognizant, or as cognizant as he usually is. I think he was having a good day, being cognizant and almost polite to some of the people who were interviewing him. I say almost polite. All right, let me bring you guys up. I say almost polite, because he's cuckoo bananas. But it was really interesting to watch. He was still talking crazy talk, but he was cognizant of what people were saying. He was paying attention to what they were saying. He was answering their questions a little better than I've seen him answer them in the past. My point being is, I think he was on some really, really good drugs, for entertainment purposes only, on some really, really good uppers in the morning to kind of have him agile. Maybe there is some sort of medication that he takes. There are medications that you can get that are supplements that do support brain health and all that. And I hear that they work, if you take them regularly and take them enough. So I don't know if he's been on something like that. I don't know. But I do think, generally speaking, there is a lot of brain fog that occurs. People have to help him get ideas across, help him communicate, say, do you mean this? Do you mean that? I already told you about this, sir. Remember, blah, 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 blah. That sort of thing. Yeah. Okay. Let me bring it back down so we can keep going. All right. Woo. Two of Cups in reverse. Three of Pentacles. It's a team effort to kind of keep him going, keep him upright, I feel. This is as of I'm doing this reading for the future, since I'm going to post this on Wednesday, which is why I'm saying as of August 27th. So as of August 27th, it is a concerted effort among the people around him to kind of keep him upright, to keep him, to keep up the facade that he's okay, quote unquote. With the Two of Cups in reverse, I feel like he's not left alone with other people often. Like he's not left one-on-one with people. There are multiple people around him at all times to do different things, to do his thinking, to do his communicating, to do his to serve, if you will, him. Make sure he has what he needs. He's not able to do a whole lot of things on his own. Going back to the High Priestess card, the High Priestess, if there's a female doctor or a female nurse or somebody or team, medical team that helps him, they don't tell him. Again, I think I said this earlier, they don't tell him how sick he is. They'll give him a pill and say, oh, this is for this, when it's really for his heart. They'll say it's for something else. They'll say, oh, this is just an antacid, something like that. One more card. As of August 27th, how is President Trump's health? How is Donald Trump's health as of August 27th? Nine of Wands. I think this is more about the people around him than he himself. They have multiple defenses against. I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach, by the way, in the recording. It makes noises, and the microphone does pick up the noises. So I apologize for that. It's really embarrassing. And I would drink some water to kind of make it quiet down, but that's just going to make it a little bit louder, unfortunately. But yeah, Nine of Wands. I'm going to read this two ways. He has a big team around him that are, keeping people at bay, keeping a boundary, maintaining a boundary between him and others. Between him and other people on staff. Susie Wiles is his chief of staff. I think she plays a big role. She may be this high priestess here. She plays a very large role, I believe, in maintaining the facade, helping him and helping the administration at large maintain a facade. I feel like there are a lot of people, maybe his own cabinet members, they were saying this about, saying something similar about Biden when he was in office. I think there are cabinet members who may not even really know how sick Trump is. Now, on the other way I can read this is Trump himself as the Nine of Wands. He is on the lookout for the Grim Reaper. He is very ill. It's like he's a cat with 9 lives, and he's on his 9th one, and we're nearing the end of his 9th one. He knows that the end is near, and he's in bad shape. He's in really, really bad shape. When I was watching the press conference, I noticed that he looked paler than normal. He looked very drawn, and I haven't watched all these videos, but I've heard other people say the same thing, that he looked really pale. He did not look good. Okay, challenge is the Eight of Pentacles. It's a full-time 24-hour, 8 hours a day at least, but really 24-hour job, keeping him upright and functioning. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune for me is like a clock. It's round the clock care. I don't feel like he's ever alone. I don't even know if he sleeps alone, quite frankly, or if somebody is there watching him as he sleeps, when he sleeps. I also don't think he sleeps very much. I do think he's haunted with the Nine of Wands. If the Nine of Swords were here, I'd say for sure he was being haunted by, specters of other individuals, but I feel like he is, there is a sense of paranoia as well, I want to say, with that Nine of Wands. Um, he is definitely afraid of dying, paranoid about dying. He may be afraid. I don't know if everybody's ever said he's afraid of doctors, but I feel like he there is a little bit of a fear of doctors about what they might tell him. They might give him bad news that he doesn't want to hear. But I feel this is a round the clock operation that is, it's very elaborate and has multiple people. It's a machine that exists to keep him functioning, to keep him well, quote unquote, um, to keep him upright. And any minute that, with the Wheel of Fortune, you're playing roulette. You never know how that's going to go. You never know how that wheel is going to turn. And they realize how the people around him, his minders, if you will, realize how tenuous this is, and at any moment could be the moment where something disastrous happens and things go haywire, things go belly up, and he gets really sick, or he passes, or something of that nature. That, I feel like that is a constant worry and a constant thought, and of course, along with that worry is, okay, if this does happen, then what are we going to do? What are we going to tell people? How are we going to make this sound like something it isn't? How are we going to hide this? That sort of thing. So let's see. Let me put these back in the deck. Put these back in the deck, and what I'm going to ask now is the $65 million question, which is, as of August 27th, since as of August 27th, but since his trip to Alaska, has Trump had a stroke? And I'm going to pull 3 cards. Or series of strokes. Excuse me. Okay, that one. Challenge and what we don't see coming. All right. The Hermit. The Moon. Oh dear. The 9 of Cups. Challenge is the 4 of Cups. Keeping your head above water. Traditionally, it's about not liking the options that are presented to you, somebody offering you something and you not being interested, you being apathetic and disinterested in things. I feel like he is very head in the clouds, disconnected mentally from things and what's going on. If he is on medication, the medication is doing wonders to keep him as lucid as he is, which is not totally lucid, but I guess it's a light years different than what I'm feeling with this 4 of Cups, which is this is kind of just sitting in a chair and just staring at the floor, to me, not really doing anything. What we don't see coming is the puppeteer. Yeah, there are a lot of people who are keeping him, like I said, keeping him upright. As for a stroke or a series of strokes, we've got the Hermit, the Moon card, and the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups to me in this card is, it's about overindulgence, and especially with all the people in red here who are having an ORGY. It's just total decadence, total, ORGYs, that type of thing. Just think about what could go on in one. This is the root cause. It is living in excess. And he only knows how to do things to extremes. He doesn't understand moderation. With the Moon card, though, there is something with the emotions and with his mind. This isn't really showing me stroke, but it is showing me something that affects the mind, which could be a stroke. Strokes do affect your brain and the way your brain functions. With the Hermit card, I'm feeling him trapped in his mind, being trapped in his mind, which is interesting because a few weeks ago I got a message from another one of my ancestors, and they said, I think it was broken up. That was what they said. And I said, well, what are you referring to with broken up? And they said, Trump, his mind is broken up. It's with all of this red in this card, and I'm feeling seeing red. I know seeing red doesn't have anything to do with having a stroke, but the red coloring itself is making me think of blood in the brain. And if you have a stroke, it will affect your vision. The Moon card is about not being able to see things clearly, as well as issues with the mind. Issues with the brain to me. But in the moonlight, you can see things in the moonlight, but you can't see them clearly like you can in the sun. So I think there is something, maybe seeing stars. There's something about his vision, though, that isn't that's being affected or has been affected. But I really think he's off in his own mind, and he's thinking a lot about his age. With the Hermit card, he's thinking a lot about his age. I think he actually is also reflecting on things to the best of his ability, because there isn't a whole lot of self-reflection that goes on here. But I think he is reflecting on things, and like he said himself, he's at the bottom of the food chain, the bottom of the list as far as people who would be getting into heaven. He knows what he's done and what he hasn't done. He knows that he hasn't lived a moral life, and that there's no reason whatsoever for if you're a Christian, you believe in a loving God, there's no reason for that loving God to it's beyond his comprehension how a God could love him, how anybody could love him, quite frankly, I think. Especially for somebody who isn't spiritual, it's definitely difficult and probably impossible to understand how somebody you can't even see, or something that you can't even see, loves you. And I think he understands this on some level, some subconscious level. He knows this and understands this. Meanwhile, I think what's going on is, while he's got his head in the clouds or head in the water floating around, the puppeteer card, people are trying to keep him alive. I just heard the Queen song, "Keep Yourself Alive, Keep Yourself Alive, Keep Yourself Alive." They're trying to keep him alive. He's not able to keep himself alive, but they're doing their hardest to keep him alive. I'm getting the idea. When I first got the moon card, what came to me was a hospital bed. That's what I saw, was a hospital bed, and the lobster's little antenna. I initially saw those registered in my vision as like tubes, like tubes for an IV drip or something. With the puppeteer card, I feel like he's connected to tubing that are like these strings, really. There may be some issue where I don't see him in a hospital, but I see him with hospital type equipment around him, things that are giving him fluids, things that are registering his vitals, blood pressure, pulse, all that. Let me pull a couple more cards. See, I'm at 31 minutes. That's not terrible. Knight of Cups. They really have to keep him. He doesn't have enough fluids. They really have to force the fluids with him, is what I'm getting, because there is quite a bit of water here. The moon is water. 9 of Cups, cups of water. 4 of Cups, water. Knight of Cups. So they have to keep pushing fluids and electrolytes, I'm feeling, into his system. Fluids, electrolytes, IV fluid, water. I mean, this is a man who definitely, we know he doesn't drink water. He does not drink enough water. I do think there are potential kidney problems. I'm going to put these back in the Ace of Cups. I'm going to put this Knight of Swords back in the deck. Last card, please. Last card. What else do you have to tell us about whether or not he's had a stroke? 10 of Cups. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. So there's a lot of water here. There's a lot about water and liquids. Okay, let me ask something. Why are you showing so much about water and liquids? The King of Cups. Jesus. Also, he is very emotional. I feel like there's maybe a lot of crying and depression with the Moon card. Depression with the Moon card, I'm feeling depression. With the King of Cups, I'm feeling crying. The Queen of Cups, all of the cups. Oh my God. There is a lot of emotion within him that's at play. I think he also suffers from headaches and crying. If you've ever done a whole lot of crying, you know that crying makes your head hurt too. There's a lot of vasodilation, I would say, that's going on, or not even vasodilation, because that actually makes the dilation makes them larger, but the opposite of dilation, I can't think of the word, but I think he essentially probably needs to be on vasodilators, and this could have something to do with his Venus insufficiency that they're talking about. That's one of the things that's wrong with him, but that's not the only thing that's wrong with him. I feel like internally he's in an emotional mess. Externally he's an emotional mess. Therefore, they have to force fluids to keep him hydrated, to keep his electrolytes balanced. If he is a drinker, he says he's not, but I don't believe that. If he is a drinker and drinks to excess, which he could with the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is sometimes my drunkard card. Then he would need electrolytes to kind of keep things moving. Again, I'm feeling kidneys too. There's a lot of sacral chakra issues going on with the emotions and with the kidneys and with the water. I am getting sacral chakra and heart versus heart, as far as like the actual heart muscle, as well as the venous, his veins and his circulatory system. Let me take one more card for all this water. What can you tell us about all this water energy? The Lovers. He has to have the fluids. There's something about not enough fluids circulating around. And the Lovers to me is totally about, if it's not talking about love and it's not talking about choices, it's talking about the heart and the heart muscle. And I'm surprised the Three of Swords isn't around, but there is something with the heart. The heart chakra itself is weak. It is very weak. Okay, what else can you tell me about the heart chakra specifically? What can you tell me about Donald Trump's heart chakra specifically? Five of Swords. I heard stent, and I heard bartering for time. I feel like he's running out of time. The Tower. The Tower is that's my stroke and my heart attack card. It's a matter of time, I think. They're trying to, I don't think he's had a stroke as of this video being posted on August 27th. I don't think he's had a stroke, but I think he's well on his way. They're bartering for time. They're playing for time. He's trying to cheat death with the Five of Swords. I don't have the Death card here out, but I do have the Tower. That's good enough for me. That's something massive. That's like that is like a massive stroke for me. But he's trying to cheat death with the Five of Swords. Five of Swords to me is about ill-gotten gains. It's cheating, but it's cheating in a situation where people know that you're cheating. The people that you're cheating, they know that you're cheating them. They're aware. And it's only a matter of time until karma comes and bites you in the butt. There's only so long that Trump and his cohorts, associates, people that he's in connection relationship with, can play this game and continue helping him cheat death, because it's going to come. The Tower's going to come. It's going to come. I'm going to ask one more question. Can you tell me in what zodiac season, when the sun is in what sign, will this Tower occur? The Tower for me can be Scorpio, by the way, which will be late October to mid-November. During what zodiac sign will he experience this Tower? Strength is Leo. We've just come out of Leo season. During what zodiac, when the sun is in what sign, will the world the Magician, the Fool, and the Seven of Pentacles. I think, honestly, with the Strength card, what I'm feeling is that the Tower already happened. This Tower already occurred. This stroke has already occurred. Or series of strokes, if it's more than one, like mini strokes, he's already done, you know, and the Strength card also can be about the heart as well. So in Leo season, there could have been something with a stroke. This could also refer to the stent that allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, because I'm not entirely sure, but the stent that is was allegedly put in his heart a while back. And I'm sure he's been under observation for it, with some of the other cards that we saw in the last spread that I did here. Strength, World, but Magician. We're gonna pretend like nothing's happened and everything's fine, but everybody knows the truth with the Fool card. Everybody knows that the Emperor has no clothes. Everybody knows that, you know, you can put on a mask and pretend you're well, but you're not. You're not. And again, it is only a matter of time. Seven of Pentacles. It is only a matter of time until the end. Until we get to the end. Again, they're playing for time. They're playing for time. I feel like, okay, he cheated death once. Cheated death before, you know. There's some people think that when he had COVID, during his first go round in the White House, that, you know, he could have been taken out. That could have taken him out then. And somebody who is most likely for entertainment purposes only as unhealthy as he is, that would have or could have really done some damage to him. Okay. I think that I'm going to clarify this Tower. Can you please clarify the Tower for me? I'm feeling drawn to that Tower. Can you give me 3 cards to clarify the Tower? Got 1, 3 of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and the 6 of Pentacles. I'm going to take one more card to clarify the Tower. This one. 7 of Wands. They think they can bribe life, death. I don't know. They, with the Tower card, again, I feel like this Tower already occurred. There could be a worse Tower coming, however, that they're trying to fend off with the 7 of Wands. They're trying to, they being Trump himself and the people around him, his doctors, they're trying to cheat death. They're trying to play God. It's like they're trying to say that the natural order of things, you know, we all die, but the natural order of things regarding death and endings does not apply to Trump. That's what he feels, is that the rules don't apply. And we've seen this in other areas. This isn't anything new. We've seen this in other areas with him, because he thinks he's immune. He can break all the rules that he wants to. He can do what he wants to. Let's move that up still a little bit more. He thinks he can do what he wants to. He thinks he can break the rules, and he has complete immunity. And of course, the courts have given him immunity, and they allow him to do what he wants. But yeah, they're trying to look towards the future with the 3 of Wands, trying to plan everything. But there are things that are hidden within his body. If you imagine his body as that hunk of marble there, which he'd love to be a hunk of marble, I'm sure. And he probably thinks that he looks like this statue that's being carved out of this hunk of marble, and we know that's not the case. But anyways, there are things that are hidden in his body that they don't see, that they don't know. Things that are hidden. Could there be two? And I'm still trying to buy time. It's the supplicant reaching for money. Trying to buy time, trying to buy something that is value, trying to barter, trying to bribe, trying to fend off the eventualities that are going to come for you and that are going to come for all of us. The Grim Reaper comes for all of us. They're trying their hardest. Let me ask a question. With the Page of Pentacles, is there something hidden in his body hidden in Trump's body that the doctors don't know about? That the doctors, medical teams don't know about? Yes. Is it a tumor? Is it a cancer? I know we were talking about strokes, but is it a tumor or a cancer or something of that nature? No. I got two no cards. No and no. No tumor, no cancer. Is it a clot? Is it a blood clot? No. Is it something else? There's something else. Blank. They're not telling us what it is. There's something else hidden in his body, though. I'm feeling it would be more along the lines of a clot than a tumor. It could be a brain tumor for entertainment purposes only, since we were talking about the brain. With the Tower card, there's definitely something surrounding the head. In the traditional imagery for this card, it shows a tower that has a crown on it, and the crown is falling. The crown is falling down, falling off. So this can be about losing your head, but there's something in the head that's a problem. Could be a bleed on the brain, could be a brain tumor, could be a clot. They're not telling me it's a clot right now, but I wouldn't put that out. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility. All right. Okay, so we're at 48 minutes. I think we've gone on long enough. Thank you very much for joining me for this reading. This was interesting. I'll be interested to see how this turns out. What happens in the coming months. We can revisit. I think we'll do another reading at another point and revisit his health. I think that's fair to do, see what happens. But until then, thank you so much for joining me. If you, again, this has been for entertainment purposes only. We're entertaining ideas, we're entertaining opinions, we're having discussion. If you want to continue that discussion, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to speak with you. If you're interested in getting a private reading with me, my contact information is in the description box below. And that's all I have for you tonight. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. For entertainment purposes only.